I haven't started yet. I'm about to, though.
Good, because I have a book to read them today again.
Okay. Okay.
Who is Mateo? Wow.
Probably not even up yet.
But I saw the garage open.
Yeah, I think your daddy goes to work.
I saw his mommy.
Oh, did you?
Uh-huh.
I gotta go.
Tell me when to come in to say bye to you, okay? Okay, Mom? Okay, Mom?
Okay. We're going to start here in a minute.
Wait! Does that mean I get to read them my new book?
Here.
All right, we're going to be live in 1 minute, Paige. Oh, my wonderful hair. I need a comb. My goodness.
Good thing you have
My
a hat on.
goodness. What's that?
Good thing you have a hat on.
You have a hat? I have a hat on. All right, Paige. Hold on. Let me try and figure. That looks okay, I guess. Come on, Paige. You said.
Waiting for everyone to log on and
Well, everyone's logging on now. You want to read your story. They want to hear it.
Alright.
All right.
Everyone logged on.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning from Mayfair. Good morning, Steve. How you doing, buddy?
Logged on.
Good morning, Doreen.
Is everyone logged on?
Norma says, sounds like the jumper planes are out already. You know what? I didn't look, but I wouldn't doubt it because they're always out this early. Everybody's logged on. Okay. So, Paigey, before we get into the tornado stuff, because we want everybody to log on, right? Paigey wants to read a story to you guys. Don't you? What do you got today? What's the story we're reading today, Paige? Happy Thursday, Gail.
one.
Alicia says, hi there. Good morning, Jackie. What is it?
I asked my mom to play with
And
me,
it's
but
it's
she
it's
was-
called Little Critters Play With Me. I love it. Okay.
I asked my mom, can I read the whole book? It's really short.
Okay, go right ahead. Go ahead and read.
I asked my mom to pray with me, but she was busy making a cake. She gave me some pots and pans to pray, and I made a cake too. I asked my dad to pray with me, but he was busy painting his book. He gave me something to play with, and I painted a boat too.
Go ahead.
I asked my grandpa to pray with me, but he let me jump in the leaves.
Jump in the leaves. Oh my goodness.
I asked my grandma to play with me, but she let me play in the sprinklers.
So grandma let her play in the sprinklers.
My cat was busy taking a nap. My dog was busy chewing a bone. Nobody wants to play with me,
Nobody wants to play with you. Oh my goodness.
except for my little sister.
Except for her little sister. Oh, I'll get it.
It's
Don't
the
bump your
end.
head. Okay. So the end. Now, Paigey, who taught you how to read like that? Did your daddy teach you that?
Well, I kind of remember some of the words from when my mom reads them to me. So I
Come
kind
here.
of know how to read a little bit.
Daddy loves you so much.
I love this book.
I know you do. You know what, Paige? What we're going to talk about today is big thunderstorms. Do you want to stick around?
Sunny.
Well, it's sunny. We got clear skies right now. It's 7:32. Just now tuning in. Paigey just read everybody a book. We're going to let everybody get in here because we got some potentially violent weather to talk about here. The tornado threat, if you tuned in last night at 7:30, we talked about the tornado threat for today, which has now been upgraded by the Storm Prediction Center. So it actually increased while you were sound asleep.
Storming today?
Well, it could storm. Yeah, it could storm today, Paige. So, I guess she just read that whole book.
She doesn't take very long to memorize.
So she's memorizing it then. It's
Teaching her little letters.
because it sounded good to all of us. We were like, wow.
She read it a couple times. Equally impressive.
Yeah, that's wow. So, I mean, whether or not she's reading or memorizing it, I don't know, but wow, that was pretty impressive. All right, so good morning, everybody, on my YouTube channel at Chris Hours Weather, and of course my Facebook page. Hope you guys are having a great morning. First part of the day looks pretty good here in the Philadelphia area, and then things may get crazy later this afternoon. Now, what's important to note here is there's no need to. What we're going to talk about is a setup that could potentially bring tornadoes, winds 60 to 70 miles per hour, large hail. But it doesn't mean, there's a couple things here. One, it doesn't mean that the atmosphere lives up to its full potential, and we get all of that. And two, it doesn't mean that every single town in this viewing area is going to get it either. All right, so I think a good way to play the forecast right now would be 6 to 12 inches of snow with very cold wind chills and potentially another snowstorm 3 days down the road. No? Am I getting ahead of myself? That's coming, I hope. No, a good call on the forecast would be the first part of the day is nice. I mean, look at it right now. First part of the day is good, and we talked about this last night. I'd say we're probably good through about maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or so. Then we're going to get thunderstorms flaring up. Then those are they're called discrete, all right? Individual cells out ahead of a main line. So you're going to get some discrete cells from southwest to northeast first after 2 or 3 p.m. Then the line comes through. All right, so with the discrete cells, there's the possibility of rotation. If we're going to get tornadoes today, that's where you get them, all right, with the discrete cells. When the line comes through, whether or not it's broken or solid, that's when you usually get the strong straight line wind. So, of course, we're going to go over all of this here in a second. Very good. Donna, that's great information right there. And I was just getting ready to get to that. Donna says it's a good idea. Charge up all your devices. iPads, cell phones. Keep them all charged throughout the day. All right, just in case we do run into a situation where we're encountering power outages here, because I'll tell you right now, if you get a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust, that's going to take the power lines down. It's going to snap some poles. So that's a good idea. Just have a plan. You know, if you get under a tornado warning, where are you going to go? Okay? What are you going to do? Make sure your family's aware of the potential situation later this afternoon. We'll get into all that here in a second. One of the things about today is if we get the environment is going to be conducive for spin-ups. Okay, and the problem, spin-up tornadoes. And the problem with spin-ups is they happen so fast that there's quite a few times here where a spin-up can be on and off the ground before the Weather Service even pops a warning. All right, so, and it's just simply because it happens so fast. Like you may detect the rotation just off the deck, and it's not quite strong enough, and then within the blink of an eye, it does get strong enough, the tornado drops down, and it's on the ground for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then it lifts back up. But within that 2 or 3 minutes, it could rearrange your house pretty good. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's kind of the thing with today. So take all warnings seriously. And I know I feel your frustration with some of the warnings that we've had so far this summer, but with them not panning out, and false alarms, we've discussed all that, and I've given you reasons why, the Weather Service issues the warnings that they issue and when they do. There's reasons for what they're doing, but I understand the frustration when nothing pans out. I do. But this is going to be one of those situations here where you just, you hope for the best, and if you get a warning, you got to take it seriously, okay? That includes a flood warning, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning. All right, so in the tornado warning, all right, before we get into all of that, let's just go over the basics. In a tornado warning, if you live in a mobile home and your phone goes off, all right, first of all, you should have at least more than one way of getting your warnings. Have at least 2 ways, okay? Let's say your cell phone goes off, or you're watching TV and you see the crawl on the bottom of your screen talking about a tornado warning for where you live. If you're in a mobile home, you can't be there. All right, you got to move to a more substantial shelter. Whether or not that's a convenience store, maybe you're going to head to a Walmart, or maybe you're going to head to a Wawa. Maybe you can just make a quick run. I'm trying to think what's another, like a Dollar General, something like that, or a supermarket. But you can't be in a mobile home, because mobile homes are not, attached, so to speak. They're not structurally sturdy. They're sitting on a slab of concrete. They're loose. So if you get a tornado pulling through a trailer park, and you're in that trailer, it's going to toss the trailer, and in turn, it's going to toss you. And that, I hate to even use this word, but it ups the risk of fatalities. Okay, so you can't be in a mobile home. Another thing that you want to try to avoid is driving on main roads. Okay, for example, if your area is under a tornado warning, you don't want to be in the car either. Did you see the video I posted about a week ago? This was in Columbus, Ohio, and there was a car. The cars are driving down the road, and I don't even know if they even knew there was a tornado there. The tornado comes across. Now, it's rain wrapped, all right, so it's pouring, and one of the traffic cameras, so we're going this way, one of the traffic cameras spots the tornado over here, and the tornado comes like this, runs right across the road, takes the cars that it eats, if you will, that it moves over, picks them up and flips them over, tosses them. All right, so it's darn near impossible to outrun a tornado on the road. It really is. Okay, so you don't want to be on the road either. Now, as far as the family plan in a tornado warning, make sure that all your kids know what to do. Okay, basement is the #1 spot to be. All right, so what I would do right now is, given that it's beautiful out here right now, it's 7:30, and the weather's really, really quiet, have like some kind of, I don't know, but make your basement prepared. You know what I mean? Get it ready. Have blankets down there. Have a pillow down there. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. Who knows if we even see this kind of weather, but this isn't a bad idea, okay? I'm just trying to kind of get you guys prepared. I don't want to scare everybody, but this isn't a bad idea here, right? Maybe. Bye! Paigey, you come back, okay? So, for example, in our safe room, and I tell this story all the time, in our safe room that we had in Florida, we had a case of water, we had batteries, we had a flashlight. Actually, we had 2 flashlights. We had candles. I had my safe room just loaded. I had protein bars. What else did I have in there? Well, basically, we had food and water in there. We had blankets and pillows. All right, and that's really all you're going to need. Okay. Also, what's another thing? If you don't have a basement, you want to get to the center part of your house. Okay. You want to be away from outside walls, interior rooms, lowest floors. Okay. Now, if you're in a situation where you're on a 2nd or 3rd floor and that is your lowest floor, then again, you want to be in an interior room, an interior hallway, maybe an interior bathroom. You want to be away from the outside walls, okay, as much as you can. And that's really it. I guess the most important thing is be ready. All right, be ready, because as soon as the warning is popped, you got to take action. Remember your pets, your dog, bring them downstairs too. All right, let's get into this. Severe thunderstorm, real quickly. Severe thunderstorm warning is different. All you got to do is be inside. Okay. As soon as a severe thunderstorm warning gets issued, get indoors, get away from the outside walls. Okay. And that's really it. Oh, stay off of electrical appliances. That's it. All right, so severe thunderstorm warning is much, much different. Okay, let's get into, now this is the SPC, this is the categorical, and they actually have increased this a little bit too. So this got expanded a little bit more to the north, all right, and to the west, and the tornado did too. So what you're looking at here is, if you remember yesterday, the Lehigh Valley was not even in a level 1. They were just in that lighter shade of green. Now the level 1, the dark green, has been lifted north up into the Lehigh Valley, and actually, it looks like it goes right in between the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos. That's where it stops. The level 2 is now through all of Bucks County up into Quakertown in the southern part of the Lehigh Valley. The way you got to look at this, if you're new to this, okay, The SPC, which is a government agency, by the way, that's where these forecasts are coming from. I'm just relaying the message here today. These are government agency forecasts that you're getting. Storm Prediction Center, National Weather Service. It goes U.S. Department of Commerce, NOAA, National Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center. That's the chain, okay? They're all government agencies, and that's where all of this information is coming from today. So my job right now is just to relay the message so you guys have a good handle on what's about to happen or what could potentially happen later today. All right, so that's where all this stuff gets issued. I don't issue it. No forecaster on TV issues it. This all gets issued by those government agencies. NOAA, National Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center, okay? So the yellow, what you're looking at here is a level 2. The dark green is a level 1. The dark green area is isolated or spotty severe weather. The yellow is where the SPC is anticipating a more organized area of severe weather to occur. And you can see that yellow shaded area is right over the heart of the Philadelphia area. Actually, it's New York City and Staten Island all the way down the New Jersey Turnpike, right over the Delaware Memorial Bridges, and then down 95 into Baltimore and D.C. It's that whole corridor. It also includes the beaches here in New Jersey and the Delaware beaches, the Delaware Bay, the Chesapeake Bay, the Virginia Capes. Richmond, Virginia is included in this. The northern suburbs of Raleigh in North Carolina is also included in the level 2. All right, so that's the categorical. And when they break it down, here's the hail outlook today. All right, it's a low-end threat, all right, but it's right over Philadelphia. Here's the strong straight line wind threat. This is elevated, okay? This is a moderate threat, not a low threat. All right, so this right here is over, well, it's pretty much over all of Philadelphia and the immediate surrounding suburbs. There's a 30% chance in that shade of orange, or is that red? I don't even know what the heck shade that is. There's a 30% chance that any one point in that polygon, if you will see winds of at least 60 to 70 miles per hour today. All right, within a 25-mile. Paige's playing. She's playing knock knock zoom zoom with me. So, if you live in that red polygon, all right, there's a 30% chance within 25 miles of a point, all right, a location, that you will see winds between 60 and 70 miles per hour. That's how it's broken down by the Storm Prediction Center. Here's the tornado threat right here. Remember yesterday, it wasn't this far north, and it wasn't increased like this. We didn't have that gray area. That gray area, the dark shade of green is a 2% chance. That gray area is a 5% chance. All right, so again, that's saying the same thing. If you live in that gray area, there's a 5% chance that you will, within a 25-mile radius of a specific location in that area, where you're going to see a tornado today. And I know that number doesn't sound high, but the percentages are a little bit different here when it comes to the SPC. That's actually, it's a low-end threat, but it's a considerably higher threat than it was yesterday, okay? So it's something that we need to pay close attention to. All right, what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to try and read some of these comments while I'm going over all of this. Jojo says 30% of the time it works every time. Good morning from Boyertown, Berks County. What's going on? Paige reads so well. Chris, you and your wife raised her well. Well, thank you. I got to give Lori most of the credit for that, though. I haven't taught her how to do too much reading, but man, she sounded good, didn't she? Reads better than her daddy. All right, let's get into the. I want to show you what. Come here. Are you playing knock knock zoom zoom? Yeah, I know. Come here. All right, give me 1 second. She wants to come outside and she can't open the door. Oh, you can open the door. Yeah. Okay, hold on. What's that? Okay. What we have going on, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the science, and then I'll get into the timing with all of this, okay? What we have going on is called veering, all right? Or in other words, the winds are changing direction with height, all right? So what you're looking at here is surface wind speeds. Surface wind speeds today are out of the south, okay? You see that? If you look closely, I hope you can see this, but if you see the lines, all right, there's little arrows attached to it. They're all out of the south, south and north. Now, if you go about 1 mile up into the atmosphere, those winds are southwest. See it? So we go from south to southwest. All right, you're turning clockwise with height. That's called veering, okay? Those veering winds, it's called directional wind shear, and they help to fuel thunderstorm rotation. Now, if we had winds at the surface and a mile up, all coming in the same direction, then we wouldn't have the directional wind shear, and the threat would be all straight line today instead of rotation. So because we have winds at the surface coming in out of the south, and then winds at 5,500 feet, or about a mile up, coming in out of the southwest, that's your veering, or your winds turning with height clockwise, and that's what will produce the rotation if, in fact, we get a round of heavy thunderstorms later today, and I see no reason to doubt that we will. All right, let's time it out for you. This is 11 o'clock in the morning. There's 12. There's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2, 3. We are fine. First part, and I've said this to a lot of people because I've had a lot of questions already. First part of the day is great. You can get out here and cut the grass. You can get out there and take your daughter to the park. Do you want to go to the park today, Paige? Yeah, okay, we can do it. All right, there's just nothing going on first part of the day. There's 4. I can. There's 5. All right, now, yeah, we will. Hold on, honey. There's you. So we're gonna go to the park. We'll go to the playground, okay? And then we'll do the fish tank.
Can we ask Wiley to come?
Riley, okay. Yep. Okay, go ahead and read your book. Okay, so there's 5 o'clock in.
I haven't been here in a long time.
I know. There's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, again, notice a large part of the area on this particular model sees nothing. Now, the next model that I'm going to show you brings us in a little bit quicker. But the point here is the first part of the day looks pretty good. All right, big cells coming in here just in time for the evening commute. Right over Philadelphia by 6, 7 o'clock this evening. There's 8. Look at the bow. That is a nasty, nasty bow. It starts developing around 6:30. Crossing right over the turnpike and I-95 in the Delaware River, and bang, this thing just explodes once it hits the coastal plain. That is a nasty looking bow, stretching from Trenton all the way down to Millville. Remember, think of an archer pushing pulling back, all right, at the apex of the bow. So it's going to be where it's bowing out the most. That's the apex. That's where the winds could be violent, 60, 70 miles per hour, all right, right there. Look at the bow echo off the coast. If this particular model pans out, those are going to be some very big wind gusts. 65, 70 miles per hour. That'll do considerable damage. That knocks down trees. All right, it'll snap power poles. You'll have power outages, okay, if that pans out. Then as we keep going, it's gone, okay? Now, I want to show you another look at this, all right? This comes in a little bit quicker. This is 11 o'clock. Here's 12. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice the difference. This is about 3.5 hours faster. 2. All right, notice the cells. You see these popping southwest and northeast? These are what's called discrete. These are the discrete cells that I was talking about. Or thunderstorms, individual thunderstorms developing out ahead of the main line, which is right there. All right, see it right there? All of this comes in, okay? That's 2, discrete, 3, discrete, 4, discrete. There's your tornado threat right there. 5, discrete. Here comes the line, barreling through. It's broken. And then it pushes through. Okay? So the modeling is a little bit different, at least as far as the timing is concerned. And the modeling is also a little bit different as far as whether or not we're just going to get one line coming through, or we get a couple of discrete individual cells coming through first, then the line. So there is still some question marks as to how all of this is going to evolve. So it's going to be one of those situations where, the best advice that all day I'm going to be on this thing. YouTube, Facebook, sourskywatch.com. I'm going to have update after update after update. So you can always turn it into one of my, platforms, and I'll have you, updated here. But this is going to be one of those situations where I would just keep staying aware of what's going on. Keep looking at your favorite radar, app or whatever. Remember, on my YouTube platform, that radar is going to stream Doppler radar 24/7. It's at Chris Sowers Weather. I see I've got a decent audience on YouTube now, so it's at Chris Sowers Weather. It's going to run 24/7, the live Doppler radar, which is this right here. right here.
When are we gonna set?
That will run. Now I've got it. We will today, honey. I've got it in. I've pulled it back. This is in the national radar mode. It's called composite. I haven't flipped it over to the Fort Dix site because everything's out here to the west. But when I'm done doing this will zoom in, okay, into the heart of the Philadelphia area, and you'll be able to get the 5-panel mode all day today at Chris Hour's weather. Super reflectivity, super velocity mode, differential reflectivity, correlation coefficient, rainfall totals. All right, those are the 5 things that you're going to be able to look at simultaneously. Okay? Okay, so let's look at the rainfall totals real quick because believe it or not, we've got more. It's not just this severe weather threat. We've potentially got some flash flooding on the way too. Here's a look at what the NAM is suggesting. Look at how this model was suddenly up the ante. Look at this. We went from 1 to 2, isolated 3 to 5. Now this thing is saying, hey, this might be more like a 2 to 4, 3 to 5 for a larger part of the area. I mean, it's got 2 to 4, 3 to 5 stretching from southern Lancaster and York counties all the way up into New York City. So, I mean, look at this. Conshohocken, it's got almost 4. Philly Northeast, 3 1/4. Trenton, almost 4. Actually, look, south of Trenton, Hamilton Township, it has 5. Middlesex and Essex County, Somerset County in northern New Jersey, Monmouth County, it's got 5 and 6. Northern Chester County, it's got 2 to 3. I mean, there's a large swath. And look at that coming off the eastern shores of Maryland into central Kent County. Dover, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. I mean, there's big rain totals here. Here's the HRRR. It's not quite as bullish, but it does show. Now, remember, this one showed more of the HRRR model, what you're looking at here, showed more of a faster moving system. And it showed more straight line winds than anything else. But still, for a system that was moving by pretty quickly, those are really good rainfall totals. This one here was discrete cells first, then the line. All right, so those are the 2 scenarios. See? Okay, then as we get into the weekend, all right, so we've got this mess coming through today. Boom, here's the European model. It gets very active later this afternoon. It comes and goes. Friday, we get a break. Friday's a nice day. Humidity levels drop. Boundary sweeps through. Friday's a great day. Beautiful start to the weekend. Uh-oh. Then we actually get into the weekend. Yeah, there's Saturday. I would honestly, I don't think this is going to change. I would have indoor activities planned, especially if your idea of a weekend, trip is to the Jersey Shore, because the shore is going to be an absolute mess on Saturday. Rain all day, on and off, varying intensities. At some points, it might be showers. Late this afternoon. Yeah, I know you like thunderstorms. We'll watch it together, and we'll do the fish tank. So, Jersey Shore, on and off periods of rain. Sometimes it could be showers. Other times it could be raining pretty steadily. Other times it could be drizzle. But all day down there is wet on Saturday, and actually a large part of the viewing area. Saturday right now looks miserable. Temperatures are only in the 70s. But now, here's the good news. So, Sunday all of a sudden looks a little bit better. Sunday now all of a sudden looks like more or less just a pop-up shower. So I could still go 50-50 weekend here, but now Saturday is just absolutely miserable, and Sunday looks a little bit better. I actually think you might get some pool time in on Sunday. We'll see. Maybe I'm being too bullish or too optimistic, but there's a potential. And then of course Monday still looks fabulous, of course, right? And then there's Tuesday, which also looks fabulous and sunny, and Wednesday, fabulous and sunny, and Thursday, more thunderstorms. National blend of models. Temperatures hold steady today because of the increased sunshine we get early in the day. We've bumped it up to about 85 or 86. Come on over here, honey. And then look at the cooler temperatures Friday and Saturday. I got to be honest, I think Friday, at least Saturday, I don't think we're even getting out of the 70s on Saturday. And then there's, the rest of what's going on as we get into next week. All right? Now, Paigey. So I'm going to answer. I see all the questions here in the comments section. I will answer them in 1 second, but Paigey wants to read you guys a story. So I'm going to let her read real quick. You ready, Paige? What are you reading this time? Okay, hold on. Let me show everybody the book. It's called...
It's a critter book, but it's a different one.
It's called Trick or Treat Little Critter. We're going trick or treating this year, right? We're going to go for Halloween?
Yeah, and we're going to go all the way to Uncle Gary's house and back.
We're going all the way to Uncle Gary's house and back. And let me ask you this, Paigey.
I can't wait to see what kind of bag I'm going to use.
Well, what are you going to be? What are you going to be for Halloween this year?
Well, you don't know who to pull person is.
Who is it? I might.
Owlette.
Who?
Owlette.
Who's Owlette?
She's a superhero from PJ Masks.
So
the
she's
red one that flies.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard. There's a is it? Would you consider that a cartoon or a show?
It's
It's a show. A show called PJ Mask, right?
And I want to be one of them.
And she wants to be one of the PJ Mask crew. There's 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Owlette,
Owlette.
Jacko, and Catboy.
Catboy, Owlette, and who?
Jacko.
Jacko?
Jacko.
Gecko?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So go ahead, read everybody 1 or 2 pages, and then we're going to talk more about the severe weather coming.
I'll read them too, because it's a really good book. But it's kind of young too.
Okay, so just read 2 pages, okay? Because we got to get to some questions. Face the key. I'll hold it. You go ahead.
Today was the night it was almost Halloween.
Today was the night that was almost Halloween. Go ahead.
And we went to the shop to buy Halloween stuff. Turn the page.
Okay.
We picked out a glow-in-the-dark skeleton for our backyard. Dad picked out a creepy mask.
Oh my gosh, that is a creepy mask. Look at Dad's mask. See that green? Maybe that's what I'll wear this year. Okay, what else?
But my sister didn't like it, so Dad chose the city one instead. We chose a bunny costume for our little brother, but my mom said maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
It was too big. I tried on a pirate costume, a cowboy costume, and a monster costume.
And what's that?
I chose the pirate one.
That's the pirate one. What about over here?
And a really cool bag for my candy. And my sister wanted a pretty one.
What about the next day? They're all on the back of a hay. It looks like they're going on a hayride, right?
We went on a hayride. The hay made my dad sneeze odd, but I thought it was fun.
But the hay made Daddy sneeze a lot, but you thought it was fun. These books. Okay, how about we end here? What does it say? There were pumpkins.
There were pumpkins.
Everywhere in the field.
Everywhere in the field.
What's that? I found the perfect one.
I found the perfect one, and so does my sister.
Right, and what's this one say?
And so does my sister.
What's that say? We had to draw straws.
We had to draw straws.
Okay. So they went to the pumpkin patch.
And the next page is
And then the next page
is a good one.
Oh, they're making the jack-o'-lanterns. Oh, ho, ho.
But before the dad cutted it, the sister screamed, "Don't hurt the pumpkin!"
Don't hurt the pumpkin, she said.
So
But Daddy's got the knife. He's going to hurt that pumpkin.
Then he drew a face on it instead. I think the marker's too light, and he thinks it looks dumb, but I think the marker's too light.
I think it looks good. Do you want to make
But
jack-o'-lanterns this year? We can do that.
Yeah.
See, that's a jack-o'-lantern. All right, we can do that.
Hooray!
All right?
But I want mine to be smiling, not
You
creepy.
want yours to be smiling and not creepy? Good job. Good
But-
job, Paige.
But I might put some decorations on it too.
You might put some decorations on the pumpkin?
Yeah. To make it look Halloween.
Halloweeny. Okay,
I think he's gonna go back
Paige,
inside.
slap me 5. That was a good job. I'm really proud of you. Daddy loves you.
Super Kitties
You want to watch
inside.
Super Kitties? Is it on right now? It's not on right now. Can you give me 2 minutes? Give me 2 minutes and sit right there. Sit right, Paige. Sit right there. Give me 2 minutes and right here on the chair, honey. There's a dead spotted lanternfly. Man, these spotted lanternflies are all over the place anymore. What the heck? I thought they suddenly... I know when they first came to be, like what was that, like 5 years ago or whatever, they didn't have any predators. But I was told they have predators now. Well, if they do have predators now, it ain't working because there are too many of them. I'm going to vent over these spotted lanternflies. They are all over the place. When I'm out here doing my Sours Dungeon around 7:30, I'm sitting there like as I'm talking, I'm going like this, flicking them off the computer, flicking them off the, whatever the heck you call this thing that I have on the table here. You'll see them pop up on the railing behind me. I'm like, what the heck's going on? What's going on, Nick? Okay, I want you guys to do this because the comments, let's 5 minutes of Q&A. Okay, let's do that. And then I'm just gonna have to watch Super Kitties with Paigey. So the comments were coming in so fast that I can't catch up. So start. Okay, here we go. Good. Just keep firing away, and I'll answer as many as I can. Chris, is Yardley, PA, in the tornado zone? What county is Yardley? Forgive me, I forget what county that is. Yardley. Is that Bucks County? If it's Bucks County, the answer to that is yes, but it's slim. Will you be back on before the storms or around normal time? Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to have another update right around maybe, I'll say 1 o'clock this afternoon, okay? I'll go live, and then, of course, if the warnings start, like, let's assume for a second that that one model was correct and things are going to get going by like 2 o'clock this afternoon, I'm going to go live as soon as the first warning is issued. All right, so don't worry. I'll get you guys, I'll keep you covered. They say to kill the lanternflies when you see them. Oh, man, I have a field day with these things. I'm like, and I'm stepping on them, but the problem is they are quick. Like, I remember the other day I went with the fly swatter, and the second I got that close, boom, he just took right off. And I was like, man, this guy, stubborn they are. Is Wilmington, Delaware in the tornado zone, Newcastle County? Yes, they are, Michelle. They are in actually the highest. Deptford, New Jersey, same thing. Deptford and Wilmington, you are in the highest tornado risk today. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a high risk. It just means out of the area, the highest probability of seeing a tornado, which is on the low end, all right, is in the Wilmington area, Deptford, okay? It's all that. Actually, look, let me show you guys this real quick. I know, Paigey, do me a favor, be patient, okay? I need 2 more minutes, okay? There's the tornado threat right there. You see it, guys? All right, hopefully. Oh, that's another thing. You know what? I said this before, and I learned this firsthand. Know where you are on a map. I can't stress how important this is. I learned this firsthand when I did Hurricane Milton down there in West Palm Beach, because that was one of our, when they asked me to come down for Hurricane Milton, I was pumped. I was ready to go, but I told them, I said, guys, I said, I don't know the terrain down there. I said, up here, if you put me under a tornado situation, I can tell you every town that's not even on the map. I can tell you every road, every landmark, everything. I don't even have to look at it. There, I didn't know anything, all right? So I had to kind of, I had to keep looking at maps that day. I had to keep asking the other meteorologists that were working with me, give me some towns that are in this area. So it's important to know, do it now. If you don't know where you are on a map, do it now. You've got a large part of today is nice, all right? Break out a map on your phone or your computer and type in, I don't know, if you're in New Jersey County map. Type in your town name and put it on a map. Know where certain towns are in reference to where your town is on a map, okay? It's really, really important, because when we start getting into crazy tornado coverage or severe thunderstorm coverage, I'm just going to start naming town names, naming roads, naming landmarks, and if I start naming something and then you know where you are, okay, in reference to that, then okay, look, I've only got a few minutes before this thing's on me. Do you get what I'm saying? So, okay, what do we got else? I'm trying to get the comments here. Okay, my kids lost their house in Mulligan Hill. Oh, man, Kim, that I got to tell you, that Mulligan Hill tornado was very, very upsetting. Yeah, that was... I'll never forget what I saw when they sent me out there. If there's a tornado today, how strong do you think it could get? Well, that's... EF0 is probably... EF0, EF1 would be, I would think, where they would be today. All right, so they're going to be on the lower end of the scale. But an EF1 can damage a home pretty seriously, okay? But I would say if we get tornadoes today, and maybe we only get one. Maybe you only get one warning all day. Keep the fingers crossed. Hopefully we don't get any. You know what I mean? Maybe we only get one. If there is a tornado that touches down, I would bet money that it's probably an EF0 or an EF1, okay? But look, I mean, it's weather. Mother Nature tends to do whatever the heck she wants anymore, especially this summer. So I would lean towards the lower end of that scale, but, we'll see. Okay, James, I'm not sure what you're saying, buddy. Please be more specific there. Weather Channel radar showing rain and storms starting at 2 p.m. for Northeast. And see, that's why I showed you the 2 models. Because one model brought it in, okay, and the other model held it off another 3 hours. So, I don't know if I like the idea of it raining in the city at 2. To me, I could be way off on this, but to me, that seems too early. It seems too soon. I mean, there could be some renegade showers, well in advance. But I would think the main stuff probably holds off until at least 3 or 4. Okay, that's kind of what I think. But we'll see. Anytime, I guess the easiest way to put it is anytime after noon or 1, that's when I would really start paying close attention to what's going on. First part of the day, it's just beautiful out here. Let's see. Good morning, Chris from Middletown. I'm driving to Glen Mills, PA, 4 to 8 p.m. from work. Diane, you're going to be driving right through the heart of this, okay? If you can somehow change the time in which you're driving, that would be better, okay? If you can't, then I would say, please be careful, all right? If the rain gets too heavy, pull to the side of the road. You're driving right in the heart of it. Amy's in Lumberton, New Jersey. Lumberton, New Jersey is also in the tornado threat. Everybody's in a low-end tornado threat, but that threat is higher today than it was yesterday, okay? Considerably higher today than it was yesterday, but it is overall, when you look at the scale, still considered low. Now, if the SPC, they're going to have another update at 9, followed by another update at 12:30. If they increase the threat again, then it's no longer low, then it's a moderate threat, okay? So then you got to pay really, really close attention. They've already increased the risk once. We'll see what they do. In about 1 hour, they're going to update it, okay? And I'll post the update on my Facebook page. All right, Port Norris, New Jersey, Ocean City. Yeah, you're all in the tornado threat today. You're going to see some big thunderstorms later this afternoon, guys. This is my first summer on the Eastern Shore, coming from Ohio. Are strong tornadoes as common here? No, they are not, Kay. As a matter of fact, what we typically get here, Ohio, you can get some nasty, nasty weather. Some of the biggest tornado outbreaks in the entire country have actually occurred in Ohio. I remember the Zenith, Ohio tornado outbreak. I mean, these are massive, massive wedge-shaped EF3 and 4s. Here you tend to get more of a spin-up type stuff. Or, in other words, it happens so quickly, because dynamically, the setup is usually not the same here as it is out there, okay? So, when we get a tornado warning here, a lot of times it's for a spin-up where the tornado is on and off the ground in the matter of about 5 minutes or less, all right? And usually it's on the lower end, EF0, EF1, okay? It's very, very rare that we get anything over an EF1. We have gotten EF2, sure. We have gotten, the Mulligan Hill tornado with the remnants of Ida, I think that was 5 or 6 years ago. Actually, it might be 10 years ago now. I don't even know. But that was an EF3, and it just wrecked a large part of Mulligan Hill. But to answer your question, no. Strong tornadoes are not common here. We usually get the spin-ups. Kennett Square, Chester County, yes, you are in the heart of the tornado threat today. Is Delaware County like Havertown in the area? Yes, you are in it. Galloway, New Jersey, yes, you are in the tornado threat today. What? We are too, Paige. We are in the tornado threat. So what we're going to do is if we get under a tornado warning, we're going to go to our basement. Right? She's like, she loves that idea because that's where all her toys are. So we'll be playing. Let's see. How strong was the Mulligan Hill tornado? I remember seeing the damage was crazy. Kelly asked that question. That was an EF3. I got to tell you right now, though, National Weather Service went out and they surveyed that, and they surveyed it as an EF3. Man, there were some houses where walls were gone, which resembled EF4, but I could see where they... What? Some walls were gone on these houses. Like there was one house where 3 of the walls were gone, or 2.5. And I think it was the right call. I think it was overall an EF3, but I saw some areas where I was just like, could that have been an EF4? I mean, it was that bad. Let's see. Mother Nature has a hormonal imbalance problem. That's what it said. I agree, especially this summer. It's crazy, right, Paige? This weather's crazy.
Yeah, but if there's a storm, the basement's a good place because the basement's underground.
Say it again, Paige. Tell everybody. What did you just say?
The basement is a good place.
So wait, where do you go? Go ahead.
The basement is a good place to go for when there's a tornado because, it's like underground.
You're so smart. You take after your daddy. That's exactly
I
right.
watch you look at it.
I know, Super Kitties, 5 minutes. I'm just answering some Q&A. But Pagey's right. Basement is where you want to go because if there's a tornado on the ground and it hits your house, you're underground. That thing's over you and passing on by. So, slap me 5.
When's there going to be one by our house?
Well, we don't want one by her. Hopefully never. She just said, when is there going to be one by our house? Hopefully never, okay? But we might get a really good thunderstorm with the trees going like this and the wind blowing and the rain coming down real heavy.
Every storm has trees blowing.
I know. It's been a wild summer. It really has. Voorhees, yes. Voorhees is, I believe that's Camden County, right? You are also in the tornado threat today. Let's see. Cicadas singing this morning. Oh, can you hear them? They're crazy this morning. They're playing a nice tune out here. I can't wait, guys. I can't wait. I've got my setup here. I can't wait to bring out the TV. I've got the TV mounted on like this thing that it's got wheels. I can't wait for Sunday. I was talking about this last night. I can't wait for Sundays, right? 12 o'clock in the afternoon to set up with the angle of the sun being lower now and just put the TV right there and just sit out here all day and watch football. I cannot wait. I'm so pumped. And I'm starting to really, really love October because the Phillies are always in the playoffs. And I'm really enjoying watching October baseball with the Phillies too. So, I mean, there's just so many things I'm looking forward to now that we're back here in New Jersey. All right, traveling from Mount Holly to Cherry Hill, and the appointment is 6:30. Should I well, I wouldn't. Oh man, Jess, I hate to tell you one thing and then have you say, and then have it not happen, and you have to reschedule this appointment. Like the other lady who's traveling between 4 and 8. You are going to be at 6:30. You are going to be traveling in the heart of this. So now, whether or not the storm is over Mount Holly or Cherry Hill at the time, I don't know. I don't know what the radar is going to look like. But the general idea for the heaviest weather today is going to be from like maybe 4 to 8. All right. Now, there's going to be storms probably from 2 to 10, scattered around. But the heart of this is probably going to be 4 to 8. So you're going to be traveling in the worst part of this. Whether or not thunderstorms are over your area where you're traveling remains to be seen. But, just that's all I can say. I mean, rescheduling, I probably wouldn't, but just have a good one. But just understand, just know that you're going to be traveling probably in the heart of this. Any idea what time the storm should start in Bucks County, Ben Salem? I showed 2 models, okay? Hopefully, you guys were able to see the output on the modeling. One of the models had it starting as early as 2. The other model held it off until about 5. So if we split the difference here, it'd be like 3:30, okay? But I would say prior to that, it's a nice day. Prior to that, it's pretty nice with sunshine in and out of the clouds. At times it might be mostly cloudy. Other times it could actually be mostly sunny until this mess arrives later. Let's see. Any idea what time? Yeah, now I'm getting to the backyard forecast. I showed, okay, 1 second. Bethany Beach in Wilmington, Delaware. I don't think Bethany was actually in the tornado threat. Let me see. Bethany is in the tornado threat, okay? And Wilmington especially. Wilmington's in the highest threat. What?
Do you think we need a TV in the basement?
Yeah, we might need a tornado in the basement. There's the radar right now. So what you... A what?
A TV.
A TV. What did I say? Didn't I say...
You said tornado.
I did? Oh my gosh, sorry. We don't need a tornado in the basement. We need a TV. I agree. Let's put a TV in the basement.
We definitely need a couch.
Yeah, and we do need a couch. I agree.
Wonder what color it will be. I hope
So-
it's gonna be rainbow.
This is fairly benign looking at the moment, okay? There's going to be a couple frontal boundaries coming through. We've got a warm front punching through now, all right? Or some kind of boundary. Temperatures don't change much, but what does... Yes, honey? See the dew points? Okay. See all that soup down there to the south? See it right here, guys? Right here? High dew points. I call it soup. Boom. That's going to be lifting north, okay? As the front, which is right here, also lifts to the north, okay? Then we start getting into the unstable sector. All right? So it actually does not feel all that bad out here right now, but it will, give it some time. Okay, I'm going to answer. Oh, I did it again. Sorry. I'm going to answer. All right, Paigey, 2 more questions. 2 more, okay? Leaving from Nashville, flight is at 11:45. What are your thoughts? You're fine. You should be in here. What is it, a 2-hour flight? You should be okay. I would think you're okay. As long as your flight coming in, the plane that you're going to take off on isn't delayed, I think you're fine. How about us in the Lehigh Valley? Yes, you are now under a tornado threat too. Are you more concerned with a tornado? I'm more concerned. All right, if I were to, break it down, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, as far as tornadoes, strong straight line winds, and hail, the threat would go strong straight line winds, number 1. Hail 2, tornado 3. You're still on the bottom, all right? The tornado threat is still, on this big scale, you're still on the low end. but it's a higher threat now than it was yesterday, okay? And 9 o'clock is going to be very important because new computer data is coming in, and the Storm Prediction Center, which, and look, these guys, you know, these guys at the Storm Prediction Center, they're some of the smartest forecasters, not only in the entire country, but the entire world. These guys all day, they specialize in forecasting severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds. That's all they do all day long, okay? That's all they look at. And these guys, and I've said this before, I'm a very good forecaster. Hopefully you guys have learned some things from me. These guys are, they would put me to shame. All right, and I'm dead serious. They are that good. They're looking at things that I don't even know about. All right, these guys are that smart. And it's just they also have hands-on to some of the tools that I don't even have. So, you know, so all this information that I'm relaying to you, all of this is coming from the Storm Prediction Center. All right, and so I'm relaying this message to get you guys prepared to what could potentially be later this afternoon. Okay, one more. With the area you described, do you think the intensification will happen over central PA? Yes. I think what's going to end up happening is probably, if you're familiar with the area, Interstate 83 that goes from Baltimore up to Harrisburg, that's probably where you're going to start to see these storms explode, all right, and then push east, all right? So York, you could be right in the heart of where everything just quickly intensifies. Let's say Gettysburg to York, okay? Carlisle, those areas, if you're familiar with the area. Hagerstown in Maryland, okay, Frederick, those areas. That's the area where things should really start popping and then push east, okay? All right, so I'm going to get going. I got to watch. What are we watching, Paige? Super Kitties. Hey, big shout-outs to my sponsors today, Levan, all right, machine and trucking equipment in Fleetwood, and, of course, Weichert. I'm going to be back, Weichert Realtors here in Washington Township. I'm going to be back. I'm going to have another update on Facebook, another post, okay, with what the Storm Prediction Center is just put out now with their update. I'll probably have another post around noon, and then I'll do a live again around 1 o'clock this afternoon with an update. And then we'll go from there. Again, we're going to have to watch the radars closely and see how all of this evolves over the next couple of hours, okay? What you want to see today, all right, is clouds. You want clouds all day. Because what the clouds will do is it'll limit the instability. If you can hang on, we've got high clouds up here right now. I got this stratiform deck right over me right now. If you can hang on to that all day, then there's a good chance that the storms later this afternoon won't be quite as severe as what some of the modeling is showing right now, okay? If this cloud deck breaks and we break out in the full sun for several hours, we might have our hands full. But does that surprise anybody, the way this summer has been so far? What I want to do, I think I should do this while I've got a little bit of free time while she's watching Super Kitties. I want to see how many watches and warnings have actually been issued since June 1st. Because I got up here, I think, May 28th. And I think I remember the first storms that I encountered was like June 1st. I want to see how many warnings have been issued since June 1st. It's probably been insane how many warnings. Because it just keeps coming. We just keep getting storm after storm after storm after storm. It's relentless. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. I really haven't, here in the Philadelphia area. Okay, guys, take care, all right? I'll be back on Facebook with a post update at 9, another post update around noon, and a live update, which will also go on YouTube, all right? So you can find me on my YouTube channel and Facebook Live at 1, all right? Have a good day, everybody. Forecasting the weather takes preparation. So does buying a home. Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chris Sowers, and welcome to Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the power of yellow. Come join us and experience the full service advantage of our yellow team. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing, we've got everything you need under one roof. Real estate, title services, mortgages, and insurance. One team, one trusted name, one-stop shopping for all your real estate needs. Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the bright choice.